Wednesday might be a good time to do that if you want. I'm here to ask questions. Okay. I don't mind if you ask questions. It's meant to be kind of a summary. This is I'm going to maximize this. I'm going to get I'm going to zoom up a bit. And I'm going to go to, first thing I'm going to do is go to GitHub. And this, the address is just github.com/spconger. And the reason I'm going here is that I have a little database that I made where we can practice on. I have big databases, but I thought it might make sense to work on something that's kind of small like yours. And I'm going to show you just a little bit of SQL. So if you go to github.com/spconger, it goes to my repositories. It's actually, as I said, GitHub is a really useful place to store things. You could put any kind of code there, and it's all free, and it has version control. It's all free as you're public. Public means that anybody in the world can steal your code. It's all open source. You can get private repositories with it.
You can get a student repository that lets you.
Yeah, get a private. You get what?
Yeah.
As a student. If you were doing something that's going to make you big money, you should probably much. But generally, this is a good place to put a code that you want to show your boss. Or it's something almost everybody knows where it is. All right, so anybody have trouble getting to github.com/spconger? Because under database schema there are several different SQL scripts, and the one that we're going to do is the bakery one. Remember we talked about a bakery one time? This is a really simplified bakery script. What you want to do to copy it is you want to do raw. Because notice how it's color-coded. You know, the keywords are kind of red, fuchsia, whatever. And other words are purple, and some of the numbers are blue and things. That's all real neat, and it makes it more readable. But it's all HTML, and if you copy it, you get all that HTML, and it won't work in the SQL editor. So if you go to raw, it goes to just the raw SQL code. Then you want to copy all of this. So I'm going to do select all, and I'm going to copy it. I right-click to do it. You can Control-A, Control-C if you want. Okay, everybody with me? I'll go through it a couple of times if need be.
Could you go right here? Okay, wait, am I in the right place?
No. So you want to go to github.com/spconger.
GitHub.com
/spconger.
/spconger. All right.
Go into the database one. It's about in the middle of the down. There you go. Bakery. Hit raw, the button raw on the side. Select it all and copy. Okay, so then we go to SQL Server, a new query.
That's VMware, yeah?
What?
VMware?
Yes, it has to be in the VMware.
Open a virtual machine or create open?
It should already be open, isn't it?
And then go to just SQL Server, yeah, not VMX.
Don't run that. Are you open already? Let's look at your virtual. So then you just want to paste. Okay. And I'll talk 2 seconds through this. This isn't the main SQL that I want you to know, but I'll talk through the script real quick. Databases are created in master, that's why that. The goes are there just to separate batches. Again, you don't have to do any of the stuff in the script other than just run the script. But what the go says is basically, particularly where you're doing the drop database or the create database, finish this before you go on to the next step. That's what the go does. In other language, in other environments, the semicolon has that effect, but there's no semicolons here. What I'm going to do here is I'm checking to see if the database exists. If it does, I'm going to drop it. So if you run the script again, you can run it as many times as you want, but every time you run it, it's going to kill the database and redo it from the scratch. It's nice in a way because then you get back to the original. But okay, so once I've created the database, I'm going to use the bakery, and then I'm just going to create the tables. So each table, I don't know if there's anything. There's something that is kind of, I've never shown you. You can set defaults. Like set default get date. Get date is a function that returns the current date and time. So person date added, default. This is another way to do foreign keys if you're doing them in the line. In foreign key references person key. So you can do it in line of primary key like that. This is just the SQL for creating a database. It looks pretty much the same in any language except that the data types will be different in different management systems. Most all of them have an int. Not all of them have a money. Number types vary in their names by a lot. Date varies a lot in terms of how they deal with it. Here are the inserts. And there are some further inserts. So if you run this from the top,
you want to have databases selected or the top level folder structure selected?
it actually doesn't matter much.
Oh, really? Okay, so like if I was in another database now, and that script.
It won't hurt anything.
Okay.
Correct.
No. Just run it.
Okay, I think it's because I asked. There are lines that are messed up when I call it one of those lines.
So let's go back to the
There we go. Thank you.
We lost him, but I lost him already because
yeah, that's what I would do. And then the phone itself is pretty good. Separate.
So I got it.
Yeah, if you can figure out how to do it.
So what'll happen is
One of the troubles with Windows 10 is it doesn't let you schedule. You can, if you catch it before it happens, you can sometimes say do it later. But when you do it, when you start it up, it figures out the time. Sorry, I'll help you through this if needs be. All right, so this script is not the point of this, other than that it creates a database, and if you go over to database, it's there. Oh, it actually is there online. But if it's not there, you can do right-click, refresh. And then the tables will be there. It's not a very big database. I made it really simple on purpose. so that it won't be too complicated to show examples of. Yeah.
Okay, so that's script.
Yes.
Can you read the script for, say, for example, book?
Sure. Well, there's no book here, but yeah. So I have person. I mean, this is creatable. This is one way to do. I showed this before, right? I showed you this is one of the ways you could create a table. You could do it in the diagram. You could do it in the table designer, or you can write the SQL code for it. And then basically name the field, give it a data type. This means that it's an auto number, and it's also the primary key. Product name is in varchar, which means the character. I always set it for 255 since it collapses anyway. Why make it shorter? And I said that it can't be null, which means that it's required. Same thing for the product price. I did it as money. You could do it as decimal also, and I said that it can't be null. There's always a comma. If you take the SQL class or any programming class, the thing that's most likely going to drive you nuts are commas. They typically, if they're in the wrong place, nothing works. No comma after the last one. The only other things that I was noting, date time, default, get date. Get date, you can set a default, and get date is a built-in function that returns the current date and time. You can set other defaults. I set a default to 0 for the discount. The nice thing about a default is that you don't have to enter into that field if you're using the default, right? It's just there. And then these are just inserts, which I'm going to go over today. We're going to talk about inserts. Are we ready, kind of, for the rest? Did that answer your question? I know you're updating, which is frustrating. Anyone else updating? Okay. I don't know how you drew the lucky. Some people did update. They just started it sooner, I think. Could be. Every quarter, I think there are a couple that are. All right, so I'm going to do a new query. Actually, I might do a real quick database diagram. It may not allow. Not a proper owner. Don't know what David did that I'm not a proper owner. If I can do bakery, properties, options. I'm going to set it compatibility back to 2008. I'm going to go to files, set the owner to SA, which bothers me, but it works. SA should be disabled. Now I can do a database diagram, though. Right-click on it, new. Yeah. This is something also you don't need to do unless you really want to. It's just to show you what the structure of the database is. And it's fairly small. It's, as I said, I made something really simple. Might unzoom a little. So I wanted something with a little bit of a sale detail because I could show you how to do that in your, right? I have a product table to an. There's a person table, and the person can be a customer if they're involved in the sale. Some of the persons are employees. I did give the employee a key, and then a person key is a foreign key, and I gave them a title and a status. So as I said, it's a fairly simple database, way simpler than any real-life one would be for these, but it'll give us just, the point is just to do some SQL, which we may not have time to finish. Let's get started on it. So, go ahead.
Query. So I could just go to database and right click or put a table, or go to database and right click.
New diagram, but you can't just.
But you can't do that without having a new query, a new.
Yeah, you can.
Can't. It's not doing it.
Well, let's not worry about the diagram right now because I want to get to the SQL. I'll show you a little bit how to do it. Normally, you can just do database diagram, right-click, and say new. This data, for some reason, was set up so that we're not the proper owner. So you have to change the ownership.
There's no permissions.
Yeah, we could fix that. But right now, I just want to do some. So I have a new query window. I think I'm just going to keep it zoomed. I could go in and change my fonts, but and
Actual,
there's a little button. New query. Also write any table and say query or any database. So, first thing I do is just, as I said, we may not finish because we've got about 40 minutes. Yeah. All right. I wasn't going to go there.
Never mind.
Well, now we can do it. Tools, options, text editor. Open that up for all languages. Line numbers. Well, and there I might as well change my. So you go to Tools, Options, Text Editor, all languages. Let's make it 20.
now you're talking.
What?
Perfect.
Grid results. So we may have to finish this next time. I was hoping to get through it today. Oh, that's true. I'm not going to do that. Well, maybe I will. Don't do this unless you have to. Some of the changes that I made won't take effect unless I restart. All right, new query. And actually, so I'm pretty big, so I think I can like at least go down to 150. So the first thing I want to show you is just how, so I'm going to do use bakery. And this is just to set the context, and the execute is the little exclamation point. So if you do that, down here it says command completed successfully. You'll also notice that it says bakery over here, right? So the context, you might have noticed some of that already. So I'm going to do a simple select. This select is what you use when you want to see what's in a table. So I'm going to do select star from person. And again, I can select that and just run that line. And you'll see that I have, these are the people that I have. And there's person key, person last name, person first name, person email, person phone, person date. The person date added, actually.
Was person table inside?
Yes, person is a table. So the syntax for this is select, right? Asterisk is a wildcard for everything. So select the columns from the table, right? And if I wanted only some of the columns, like I just wanted select person last name, not last name. Luckily, it's case sensitive. No comment. Last one. Oh, I was gonna.
Oh, your first name just had that person, is that okay?
Yeah, it's not. Just an email list. Right. So that would just give me an email list. things. We've got one that's not have an email. And I can show you a couple.
Does it make a difference? You say asterisk from person, so put on this line.
You can break these up how it makes it readable. So this is okay. Ignores line breaks, but except literal string inches. As good as the other. So whatever makes it readable to you. Notice it gives you, in this environment, your keywords are blue. I'm going to do just a little bit more here. I'm going to select, I'm actually going to do the same lines, but I'm going to add something to it. So, and I might bring them up again. I'm going to order by person last name. What do you think that does? Oh, I have two selects, that's why it's underlined there. Yeah, it's going to put it alphabetically by last name. And Anderson is null. We'll get rid of the null in a bit. You guys know what nulls are? I'm not sure I've talked about them.
Blank.
Yeah, it's blank and it's unknown. Well, it could be applicable, but it's an unknown value. So null isn't the same as a 0, and it's not the same as an empty string. It basically means that it's an unknown value. So when you're doing math and stuff, it ignores nulls. That actually could have some implications in certain kinds of math problems. Because if there are numbers, if you're counting the number of rows, you may like to do an average. It may be that the number of values you're actually adding and dividing may not be exactly the same as the number of rows because nulls will be excluded. I mean, it doesn't treat them as a 0. It ignores them altogether. Right. So, as I said, in certain math situations, that can be a problem. You should be aware of anyway. But no, it's actually a good thing. But it means that it's an unknown value. It has no value. You can't add, subtract, multiply, or divide it. And you also, if you want to query it, this is something that I'm going to do where person email is not null. Oh, the order. This has to come before the order by.
Is it put it in sort of gray color because it's reserved words?
They are reserved words, yes. Weirdly, so these are words of this SQL language, keywords. These are kind of too, but they're kind of this function is not null. Is one of the things that will confuse you is when you're using nulls, you can't use equal, greater than, less than, because it isn't a value, it can't compare it. So you have to use is, right? You have to say, is it a null or not? It's a bit existential there. You have to use that as a keyword. Couple of things I want to mention about this too. So we got order by, we've got where, we've got from. Okay, so there's a certain syntax here. It's fairly natural as languages go. You know, we're saying what we want to look at, what table we want to look at it from, how we want it ordered, and how we want it ordered, and what it is that we want to see in terms of a criteria. Does that make sense? It's a fairly English-like language in some ways. It's considered a fourth generation language. Did I explain that? Because it's telling you, you tell it what you want to do, not how. If this was C#, you'd have to say, go locate this data in whatever file, loop through it, pulling out these names. So this is the file. It actually doesn't, look for this, pull out these names, pull out the values for those, exclude the ones that are not. I mean, you'd have to tell it step by step what to do, how to do it. You'd have to loop through the data to do it. And then you'd have to order it, probably by going through and doing some algorithm to order it. Underneath it all, that's what's happening. Underneath it all, it's written in C++. And SQL is doing that. But this is meant to be, more, simpler. You don't have to say how to do it, just what to do. Does that make sense? Let's do another couple of criteria with select. If we wanted to see person last name. As I said, I'm really glad it's not case sensitive. It's not case sensitive on Linux or anywhere. SQL is just not case sensitive. That isn't necessarily true of the criteria. I'm going to say select person last name, person first name. From person, and this time let's look for just one of them, where person, let's do first name. I just saw Tabitha there. So this is where you're searching for a particular criteria. Another thing, if you're looking for a character type, it's in single quotes, okay? And it's always in single quotes.
And that part is case sensitive, right? Or not?
It may be,
Okay.
but typically it's not, but it might be. Yes, which will find nothing then. So that should only bring up that one row, right? So that's one way you can search for a particular, like if you were searching for a particular album and you type in the title. It does have to match, which is,
Could you do like TAB star? So that it's like anything that starts with TAB?
no, but there's something similar. So let's do,
If you were doing this in MySQL, would you have to exit with a semicolon?
you would want to have a,
But you don't have to do that here.
you don't have to do that here, but it wouldn't hurt to put them in.
This one.
It ignores the semicolons in this environment, but yes, in MySQL you should put a semicolon after each one of them, or Oracle for that matter. So in this one, instead of equal, I'm going to do like. And actually, let's get everybody whose name starts with a T. Weirdly, the wild card here is a percent sign. And you have to use the word like. This only works on characters, work on dates and numbers. I'll show you. I know I'm in your way. It's only Tabitha starts with a T. This is a wild card that means any number of characters.
So
This,
if
yeah.
the string contains a percent sign, do you just double the percent sign?
You could double the percent sign, yeah.
Okay.
There's another, there's a keyword that allows you to escape something too. So you can set an escape character. This is only, so yeah, if the string contained a percent sign, you probably have to double the percent sign.
So if you used escape, would that mean it ends with, or no?
No,
That's
no,
different.
if you do an escape, basically you can set a character to, there are certain characters that have meaning. You might have noticed a lot of times, like if you type in what happens if you do a hyphen?
Oh. Oh, yeah.
Though typically you can get a hyphen by doubling it. So
Oh.
there's an you can declare an escape character like a slash, and then put a slash in front of it so that you say that you're not ending the quote, you're just literally putting it there.
Okay.
Or you can double it. It has the same effect.
One last question.
Yeah.
How do I make it insert rather than overwrite?
What do you mean?
As I'm typing it, overwrite, so I'm typing inserting and adding to it. Like, click in here.
Well, I'm gonna do inserts in it too.
No, it's like.
Oh, you're talking about your type keyboard?
Here, I want to say, I want to start.
Oh, that's
The insert key, if the insert key toggles between insert and override.
Oh, okay, thank you.
I do that.
I thought you were taking into the database.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Yeah, I get stuck in doing that in practice too.
So as I said, I don't know that we will finish this today, but we'll get somewheres. So I'm going to do, I'm going to look at, again, databases, bakery, tables. I'm going to select star from product. I just want to do some numeric things real quickly. So notice they have a price, which is a, a number. So for numbers, I could do select, I'm just going to do star from product where product price. So let's say is greater than 3. I just wanted to show you can do greater than and less than. And numbers don't have to be quoted. You don't have to put single quotes around numbers, unless you did them as a character type. I typically do phone numbers and zip codes and things like social security numbers as character types. You're not going to add, subtract, multiply, or divide them. Also, particularly like with like a student ID or a zip code, they can start with 0. 0 is an illegal start for an integer type. So, actually it's not illegal, it just ignore them. But you need to have them there literally. So you can do greater than, less than, or equal. So if I did the same thing and said equal to 3, I think there's at least 1 in there.
Can you combine when you say greater than or equal to?
You can indeed. So let's paste it again. All the operators that you're used to in programming pretty well work. You can also do,
say between 2.5 and 3.5.
you can do that. So actually, if you're going to do that, so I'm going to change this. Instead of, I'm going to actually use the word between. And that will work. Between is a, notice it's gray, it's one of those function tools. I don't think there's anything at the 2.5 level. Actually, aren't there? That's a good question. Are there any things at 2.5? No? Okay. Because I think, if my memory is correct, it's inclusive of both ends. It means that it does, like something start after the end and end of like one before it. This one I'm pretty sure is inclusive of its ends. So you could do between. And another way to do this lot wordier, but just to show you the syntax, and then we'll go on to something else. So I could say where product greater than equal to 2.5. Oh, and product price. Let me break the line so it's all on screen nicely. That actually has exactly the same meaning as that. This is just easier to write.
Will it also include the 2.5 and 3.5 usually between the two?
Yes, this is inclusive of the ends,
Okay.
as at least if I recall it right. All right, and you could use or. Or in this case would just give you everything. Does that make sense for those? So one of the things in terms of testing a database, you might be wanting to find a particular person or particular album. That's this. You could also want to see which prices, you might want to see something like that. You might also want to see what? Yeah. This, and then we're going to do neater things in a moment. The only other thing I want to show is like a date. So I think my sale dates are probably both the same. I'm going to do a real quick select star from sale. So all my dates are the same. Just to show you how to do a date where sale date. Actually, if I do equal because it's time, I don't think it'll give it to me. And I could do, so what is it, 10/31/2016. See, it's happy with that. You quote a date, but it gave me nothing. And there's a reason.
Is that because of your date format?
Yeah, because of the date format, the time, it's not, nothing is quite equal to this. Yeah, so it's date time. Actually, if I did greater than or equal to, it would probably work because they're all slightly greater than the date. What happens with a date time? This isn't true if you just use date. But if you use date time, defaults to midnight. 00000, right? And these are all after that time. In fact, they're all at the same time because I ran the script all at once. Does that make sense? If it was just date, then equal works fine. And notice I don't have to enter it in the format that it stores it. Sure.
I was just wondering why my times are different than your times are different than her times.
Because I did that get date in the insert as a default. And so it's the moment and the time is it varied by when you ran the script.
Okay.
Now, in real life, you would be doing the inserts one at a time as they come up, and then the dates.
Whenever I ran it,
That's when it, yeah. As I said, I don't think we're going to finish all this, but I want to show you, well, we might. I don't know. One of the questions you might want to know, here we have a sale, we have a customer, and we have an employee. There's also a sale detail. What if we wanted to see all the details from a sale? I'm going to step through this like 2 or 3 times and show you how to do joins. Because when you want to see things, you want to see the customer's name, right? You might want to see the employee's name, but I think we might leave that out. And we'll also do it with the sale detail. And we'll do it for sale one. I'm just going to do a real quick select. From sale, where I actually know from sale detail, just so I know what's in there. I do this a lot. Ooh, that was just a mistake. Cancel, kill, no, cancel. This I want to kill, the other one I don't. Okay, so those are my sale details. Again, they're pretty hard to read, right? So I am going to select, let's go back to sale. I'm going to select person name, person last name. Okay, and then I'm going to do sale date. We might want sale key here too. And then I'm going to do, so actually, do I want to put this here? I don't know. It doesn't matter really what order they're in, but I'm putting, so, and then I'll just do employee key. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to join these two tables. I'm going to join person and sale. So first thing we'll do is we'll just do one, right? So I'm going to say, and it doesn't really matter which table you say first, but I'm going to say from person. And then I'm going to do inner join sale. And then I have to say how those two tables join. On person dot person key equals, and actually the person key is mapped to customer key. So sale dot customer key. Actually, probably didn't need to do the person dot in that, but I will. That tells how the two tables are joined. What is it that ties the tables together? When I run that, notice it brings me in the last name of the person rather than their number. Does that make sense? Is inner join, there are other kinds of joins. I'm not going to do them right now, but there are other kinds of joins, just to let you know. There are cross joins, and there are outer joins, and there are other joins, but inner joins are the ones that are most common. So if we wanted to bring in the sale detail stuff, so let me run again from sale detail just so I can see. So we want, let me bring in things like product. For right now, I'm going to do the product key. I might join in the product name. I'm going to press enter, just sale, detail, price charged, sale, detail, quantity, and sale detail discount. Oh, well. I'm going to do and then sale detail, sale tax, don't you love my short little table column names? And sale detail tax eat in, or sale detail eat in tax. You know they charge you extra for eating in. Sale detail eat in tax. I think that's all. Yeah. All right. So now we have another table here, which is inner join sale detail on sale dot sale key, right, equals sale detail dot sale key. Notice all those are okay. Now sale key has a error on it called ambiguous column. Anybody know why? We can fix it. I just
It's one of your columns is, they can't find it because
no,
it's-
it actually can find it. Its trouble is it's in two different tables
Oh,
because it's the primary key and the foreign key, right?
okay.
So I'm just going to do sale key. What I'm doing is determining which table it is in, right? So it's the sale key that's in sale. It actually in an inner join doesn't matter which table you use for this. I'm also going to add to this a was where sale equals 1. Oh, and then I have to do sale.sale key. So when I run all of that, F5 also runs. Then it gives me the sale key, the sale date, the person last name, employee key, product key, sale detail price charged, detail quantity, sale detail discount, all the cost, tax percent, and tax. Does that make sense as an inner join? You can join as many tables as you want. We could add product in here if we want to know what the products are. I'll do that. I will put this on the blog, of course. And I think we're going to have the blog. It actually will be on YouTube also. I'm videotaping it. I'm going to do up what time? It'll be up right after class. Instead of product key, I'm going to do product name. It's underlined because it doesn't belong to any table here. But I can do, doesn't really matter the order, but I'm going to do another inner join. Product. Product key equals LD dot product key. And now when I run it, and I know that's a lot, if I can highlight it. So it tells you what they bought. Maybe bar, coffee. You're starting to get to a receipt. I don't know. It's also to do math in here if you wanted to get the prices. Again, I'm not sure. We have less time than I want. I might show you that next time, but I mean, this will give you some simple queries that you can run. The last thing I think I'll show is like a simple insert and update. Actually, we wanted to insert, say, how would we do? So let's insert. An insert always starts with the insert keyword. You say into what table you want to do it. I'm going to, this is a shortcut. I'm going to grab the columns over here for sale and just drag it in. Partially because we don't have time for me to type it. So I'm just going to do the sale date. I actually think is that gives you the current date and time. Customer key. I have no idea. I assume that key exists. Employee key, I'm just going to do 2. If that's wrong, then it'll give an error. And then I'm going to do insert into SaleDetail. I'm going to columns over from that. And I might break these a bit. It's a lot of columns in sale. And I'm also going to get rid of sale key. You know why I get rid of sale key? Well, it's because it's an auto number. Insert into an auto number. Insert identity. So if your key is an auto number, you have to exclude it from the insert statement because it has to. So I'm going to do values. And the sale key, I am going to do, I want to show you this. Ident current. Anybody idea what that is? Just a guess. I don't expect you to know. I just wanted to get a guess. Notice it's
Values of the current sale.
well. So what it is the current key. It's the last generated auto number in sale, which should be this one, right? The sale that just happened. So it's going to return the most recently generated auto number sale. Otherwise, you're going to have to go look. This way, you don't have to look for it. It'll just bring it over. Because we're running. The product key. Oh, so that's correct. Except that I think this needs to have single quotes.
Think you need another close friend?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
Because we got to do all the other values here. Product key 3, whatever that is. Price charged. I guess I should look at I don't have a select product, do I? This is just so I know what price to charge. 3 is a cinnamon roll, 225. So I'm going to just do 220, not 225, 225. Quantity, let's just make this 1. Discount is 0. Sales tax percent, I've been just doing 0.09. And eat-in tax, I'm doing 2, but we could 0 now, making it. Do a comma. And we'll give them, they'll also get a coffee. And it'll just be, let's do it as a drip coffee, which means that the product key should be 6. The price is $125. And then we'll leave all the rest the same. And what I can do is all that together. Where I have a comma off somewhere. Oh, I have a comma at the end here. All right. So I have sale key. That should be that. Product key. Price charge. Eddie. Discount. Oh, I don't have the discount is 0.090. Is that right? I just have the number of items have to match. Not doing. Okay, so it has 2 rows affected, or 3 rows actually. And if I do select star from sale, there should be a new sale. So the newest sale is another a little bit different in time. Customer is 5, employee is 2, and when I add sale detail, the sale number is 4. So there are 2 items for the sale key 4, and all the other data. That's just for an insert. And then the very last thing I'll show you, and I think it's enough to start it, is an update. But I want to warn you, updates are the most dangerous thing you do. They're even more dangerous than deletes. And I'm going to show you why, and then we're going to call this good, and I'll post the script. I'm going to do, we'll do a select star from person again. All right. Let's say I wanted to change last name. I'm going to do something that I really think twice doing it. I'm going to begin tran. I'm going to run that. And it's really crucial if you do exactly what I do that you do that, because I'm going to show you how to make a horrible mistake. What you do when you do begin tran is it manually begins a transaction. It's the only way you have an undo. If you don't manually begin a transaction, and there are reasons not to also, but if you don't, in this context, if you don't begin it, then you undo. You're screwed. Okay. The disadvantage in a production environment is it locks the table. You can't act. And that can be a problem. All right. I might show you later. You can do it in a store here, and then it would only be for a millisecond. And that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to update person set person last name equals Smith. Okay. What do you think will happen if I do that?
It's gonna, everyone.
Everybody in the database is now named Smith. And if you didn't do that, begin tran and run it. That's a cue. Then that's what they are. Imagine 1 million people named Smith. It's like that bad laugh where everybody became Agent Smith. All right, so because I did a begin tran, I can do, so let's see, roll back. Execute that. and do person here, they're all back. But only did that update. So I would almost suggest you do this if you're going to run these. The proper way to do this is with a where clause, where person key equals 2. And then it will limit it to one person. So there's 2 Smiths now. And in this case, instead of rolling it back, you say 2 M's, commit tran. And then the chain, oops, I missed again, I keep missing.
So it allows you to make a change, check your change, and then if you want, then commit it.
Yeah, and then you can commit the tran. And now it's permanent. So a couple of things. Insert is for adding new data. Update is for changing existing data. And I really do think update is the most database. Later, I might talk about way, as I said, this one way. The other thing is when you're giving people permission, never give update permissions. You couch it in a stored procedure where you control the sequence of events so that they can't accidentally do this. Although the most dangerous person for this is probably the administrator who's working late at night and has not either not had enough coffee or has had too many beers. If you forget that where clause, you're just pretty, there's no, the only way to undo it, if you have a recent backup and you can stop the database, you can restore your backups and restore the log up to the point where you made your horrific mistake. To do that, you have to take the database offline, which could be an issue. So I'm going to post this. I think that's enough SQL. The idea is to go through and test some of your work, your things with just a few queries. I'm not going to be very strict about the queries. We'll spend more time on SQL when we go into the MySQL, so you get a second dose of it. And I will give you Wednesday to work on this and finish up data and whatever you need to do. And I can give you more if you want. I mean, I actually teach a whole quarter of SQL, winter and spring quarters. So. Okay, we got through that with like 5 minutes to spare. I will post. I know, as I said, to help.
Power off.
Up to you. I'm going to shut it down and power off, but it's entirely up to you. If it hangs, if you have a problem when you have suspended, there's usually no recovery.
Okay.
Then I might as well power.
Yeah. All right, so let me.